Welcome to GenX and GenZ. I'm your host, Buford Brown.
And I'm Ashley Alvarez.
Assisted by L.A. Jackson on the drums.
And Monique with the drinks.
How was your weekend? Did you have a good time, have fun, spend some money?
Most definitely family time. I used this weekend to not a getaway because I didn't go anywhere, but definitely kind of off work. And I think it's really important to have those days off too. I hope you have those days off too.
I try, but I have OCD and getting better. So every time I'm supposed to rest, I don't. I always have to work.
Your mind's just working all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I get you.
I had a question for you. When you show houses, do you think people look at you different because you're Latina or Mexican?
I've felt it before. Thankfully, vocally, I've been privileged not to encounter any of that so far. But I can feel the stares, and just the looks, and sometimes it's the way they talk to you. Because I go to a lot of work parties, work events, award ceremonies like that, and it's just the way that they introduce themselves, or they just simply don't say hi.
That's not very nice.
So I definitely have experience in the workplace a lot because this is male dominated too. So being a woman in the industry doesn't help as well. And then always having that language barrier that my parents look different, I look a little different. I can feel it in my workplace every so often.
I do too. I feel like, well, one thing that sticks out, I mean, we know that, Black people are paid less than whites. I just want to put that out there. It's a fact. I'm not making this stuff up. And also, I think women in general are paid less. I don't know if Mexicans are paid less. I can only speak about
just
Black.
The woman part is already less pay as well. So. And
what kills me though is people think that because you may not speak English, as well, maybe it's your second language, that you're not smart, I mean, that you're ignorant or you're dumb or something. And the whole point about that is, okay, well, two languages, right? So let's talk Spanish and see how you feel. You know what I mean? It ain't even about that. I mean, if you're bilingual, you got like a 4-year degree. You're a step ahead of the game. You know what I mean? But maybe you can't pronounce certain words in English, and people look at it like that's an issue.
Yeah. Like you're dumb, like you're saying, they makes it look like you don't deserve their respect because you can't speak fluently, whatever language it is.
Exactly. And then that would make anybody seem like they're at a disadvantage, right? I always thought that was weird because some of the people I talk to a lot of people that may not speak English well, right? But man, they're brilliant. You know what I mean? But is that the only language there is? Yeah. I mean, but it's all perception. You know what I mean? It is all perception. But if we were in the 60s, 70s, you probably wouldn't even be able to sell houses.
I wouldn't be working.
You probably wouldn't be working. But I don't want to get all happy and congratulate because there's still issues.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to talk about it. There's still issues. And then when you look at sports and entertainment, one thing that sticks out to me is the fact that multimedia, man, when I scroll on my phone, do you know that when I look at me, being a Black person, I see Black people at a disadvantage all the time when I scroll down my phone. And I wonder why that is. And I've looked for other race, white, Caucasian, whatever. I don't see them in no bad lights on none of my feeds. You know what I mean? That's like psychological warfare. You know what I mean? That's all bad. That's media programming to make everybody think that we're losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just ridiculous, man. It's definitely a form of racism. That's incredible.
I think it's most definitely still going on. I think just now, in the last few years, the newer years, it's just they find better ways to hide it.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely still there. Maybe just as strong, but it's a lot more hidden now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we think about sports, I mean, let's go back to, 60s, 70s. Some of the people in the NBA or whatever, they couldn't even eat at the same restaurants as their teammates. Some of them had to sleep on the bus. You know what I mean? They had to not be able to sleep in the hotels and, it's just ridiculous. So maybe we came a little ways, but we still can't buy a NFL team. You know what I mean? As Blacks. You know what I mean? I think that's ridiculous. There's a line around the corner trying to do that every year, and we still can't get a sports team. Why? Because it's going to build a whole lot of wealth.
And it's going to get you guys up there how we should be. How you guys should be.
You know, I think it's ridiculous, but that's just the way the system is. Be aware of it, man. Anything, if there's anything you can do to change, try to get on whatever committee you can to try to stop that, because it's hurting us economically.
We have to go on a short commercial break.
When we come back, I'm going to let you know what racial agenda affected Black people even more than slavery when we come back.
Yep, switch it fast. Pop, 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 pop.
Welcome back to Gen X and Gen Z. I'm Buford Brown.
And I'm Ashley Alvarez.
Like I promised, I told you I'd let you know what agenda affected us a lot more than slavery. I don't want to say a lot, but it ruined us. It was the situation in 1980, in the 80s, the CIA, and this is a proven fact, put guns and drugs in our neighborhoods, basically boxed them up and dropped them off.
The CIA and law enforcement had supposedly been funneling drugs into the inner cities and to the African American community in particular as part of a covert effort to stop them attaining stability, building wealth, and achieving political power.
Okay, right in the areas that Black people lived in Oakland, Baltimore, all these areas.
We will see large numbers of poor people, and specifically blacks, going to jail and to prison, and they will not have a chance.
So that hurt us big time. I mean, it got us addicted to drugs. It had us killing each other. It had us going to prison. And the most important thing it did was it ripped the fathers out of our homes. Mm-hmm. And we're still recovering from that. I mean, that's cruel. That's evil. I mean, I don't know how you can do that. And I'm supposed to pledge of allegiance and be happy to be an American. You know, those are things that alone just crushed us. And in maybe 1980s, maybe the mid 80s, there was only 200,000 people in jail, in prison. Now there's about 1.6 million. And that's what started it off. And most of the people in there look like us.
And do you want to, kind of explain how they got it to fill up so fast?
Oh, the prisons?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, they shipped all these guns, all these drugs to these communities. I mean, all that's going to do is cause chaos. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to mention the fact of not being able to get jobs. You know what I mean? In certain people's things. We talked earlier in another episode about redlining. Mm-hmm. You can't build wealth if you can't buy property. So now we don't have any money. You're putting these drugs and these guns in our community. We're going to prison. Our fathers are getting ripped out of these homes, and we're just at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But America wants to say that everything's fair, everything's equal, and set a perception that we don't have it just because we're not good enough or smart enough.
Yeah, like you're not working hard enough.
Exactly.
They label it as you're not working hard enough. we're lazy, you're lazy.
Yeah.
And generations are always been like that, but they don't look at the perspective, the narrative that they had to grow up like that. How you were saying, without fathers, without opportunities because of redlining and stuff like that, they don't let you grow.
People that know, they know, and that's fine. Look, I don't want to beat the horse, but they had a head start. We're late to the race. Not only were we late to the race, we were purposely put into position where we couldn't even run. You know, in the 1800s, you know, they were already passing up land, you know, giving out land. You know what I mean? Giving out land, not to us. We were supposed to get reparations. I don't know do you know what that is? We built this place, right? So we're supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. That's a real saying. I know you heard that saying.
Yeah, I have.
We were supposed to get that, right? But it was reversed and the land was given to rich, powerful white people. You know what I mean? That I'm not going to talk about if they deserved it or not, but I know that we did and didn't get it. And that's why we're barely struggling now. And even laws that were made, you know, we were felons coming into this world. Not even that many years ago, we couldn't even look at libraries. If you got caught reading a book, you know what I mean? You were jailed or beat or, you know, something worse than that. We couldn't even look at libraries.
Just for wanting to learn more, do something just like everyone else.
And I think it's disguised now in a way to where it looks like it's not racism, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. It's programming and all these shows and your IGs, all that, if you really just pay attention and look.
Mm-hmm. If you really open your eyes to that narrative, you'll see that it's still there. It's just they're hiding it a lot better.
They are. Yeah. We'll be right back with Gen X and Gen Z after these messages. Welcome to Gen X and Gen Z, the show where two generations collide. Join our dynamic hosts, Buford Brown and Ashley Alvarez, as they dive into the trends, challenges, and cultural quirks that define Generation X and Generation Z. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube, get ready for lively discussions, fun segments, and a little friendly debate. Whether you're a Gen Xer reminiscing about the past or a Gen Zer shopping the future, this show is for you. So grab your popcorn and tune in for a fresh take on the generational divide.
Thank you for tuning in to Gen X Gen Z.
We hope you have fun and learn something today on our show.
We'll see you next week.